On today's episode of Watch Jericho, we are here in my new shop, and of course, we've got lifts now, which means it's about time to start working on cars. So, I bought a car! What is going on, guys? I am Watch Jericho, and like I said, I just bought a car to inaugurate the new shop. And not only that, Jake and I just finished unloading the tools. So now we've got the toolbox that matters over here. The main socket sets and wrenches are all in the orange one. So we're back in business from, at least I think, from a tool standpoint. We brought a lot of stuff over. We brought the parts washer, the AC machine, all the specialty tools. A ton of stuff is back over here. There's a lot more to move, but for now, we've got a pretty good start and enough that we can actually get a little bit of work done. Tonight, the power should be run to the lifts, so we're not running on extension cords anymore. Although for now, that does work really well. But that is the update on the shop. Today, Jake and I are gonna go get a Cobra Mustang. And probably the cheapest one sold in the US in a long time. And here we are with, oh, I can't show it to you yet, with Ryan, who has this Mustang Cobra for sale. Now, Ryan, of course, bought my old 7.3 dump truck. And that was a pretty fun truck. So what'd you end up doing with it?
Well, I was originally going to turn it into a ramp truck.
Oh, yeah.
That was the original idea.
Uh-huh.
But ended up selling after just a couple weeks.
Okay.
So.
Did the ceramic coating hold up? The Avalon King? We had it.
Yeah, it was looking good sitting in the driveway.
It was like the shiniest dump truck for no reason. But I had a lot of fun with that thing. And Ryan has quite a few diesels. Diesel, and a Cobra Mustang, an SN95 Cobra. Ignore the hood for now. We'll figure that out later. But you bought this car because it's insanely rare, right?
Yeah, one of 499.
And you've got the Cobra certificate and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Special vehicle team. Now you guys know the VIN. And it's a real Cobra, not just like a bumper swap or anything like that. But this was a hardtop convertible Cobra. And it is no longer, unfortunately. Very fortunately for Ryan, unfortunately for me, it is no longer a hardtop because you've got another Cobra.
Yep. I've got a 03.
And he needed the hardtop for that.
Yep.
So that's the deal here, is that I'm buying this Cobra from him for probably the cheapest Cobra sale I've ever heard of.
Yeah, in a long time.
$3,000.
Sweet.
Seems like $3,000 to me.
Feels like it.
Okay, the weight's right.
Yeah.
I get a $3,000 Cobra. He gets a hardtop that's super rare. So that makes this car quite a bit less rare. It makes it one of 1,003, I think. Mm-hmm. There were only 1,003 convertibles. Yep. So it might be a little bit less rare, but it's a $3,000 running and driving Mustang Cobra. So I saw this car, but I haven't started it up or anything. So we're gonna figure everything out today and just see what it's like. Let's. I guess we're gonna get it out of here so we don't have to stand in the freezing cold, and then we'll check it out once we get back to the shop.
Sweet.
So thanks, man.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Good luck with your new hardtop and all the Ford stuff. Should we show them your truck?
It's pretty messy in there.
Is it? Okay, all right.
Well, it's been on the channel.
It has been on the channel before. If you guys remember, probably 2 years ago, Ryan brought his absolutely perfect first-gen Lightning over, and that is a really cool truck. So, Fords all around over here.
Yeah, got it.
And then this one random Jeep.
Wife's daily.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you. We're going to get out of here, and then we're going to go see what's up with this thing, see what kind of a project it is. Yeah. And you said that this was abandoned for years. Like some old lady owned it, I guess?
Mm-hmm. Yep. She had it for 5-6 years or whatever, and just couldn't drive it anymore. So.
Okay, so it's been sitting for a long time. Yep. You said that you've only driven it on and off a trailer, and that's all it's done in forever.
Yep.
But it starts.
Yep.
So I hope it drives to my shop.
Should.
I think it'll be all right. So we're in my new Mustang. Check it out. I can't wait to get out of the cold, so we're really just going to run straight home. But it is running. It started right up, really. Looks like the battery's starting to charge there. It's bouncing between like 10 and 12 volts. Give it a little throttle. Yeah, she cleans right up. There's our 14 volts. So, is that reverse? It sure is. Oh, she died. You guys hear the front end? Back up. Luckily, this car was actually in my neighborhood, which is a big win. So I don't really have to drive it anywhere, but this car needs some love. I think the front shocks might just be completely gone. Hey, it stayed running on the brakes, so at least there's not a vacuum issue. Throttle, 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 clutch, throttle, clutch, got it. She's going. I can't see anything out of the windshield, of course. Good thing I know this road like the back of my hand. I mean, it's completely fogged over, and I do have the heat and the AC cranked, so hopefully it pulls the moisture out of here. Ryan did tell me that he had it running and the AC works, and it's starting to clean up here, so we'll find out. We're gonna let this thing idle for a minute, and we're gonna run in here, and as soon as we can see out of the windshield, we're gonna drive it a little bit farther. But I don't want to drive it too much because it's rough. It's rough. It stays running. I gotta give it credit for staying running. Well, if you didn't notice in the first shot, this thing was completely out of gas, so we just made a quick stop at the neighborhood gas station, and now we're heading back through the neighborhood and taking it on its first kind of drive. We have a new light on the dash already. The check engine light wasn't on or anything like that, but the low coolant light just popped on, which is not ideal, although it does seem to be holding temp very well. Like the temp gauge, it's in the normal range right now. It's nice and warm in the car, but not like crazy hot. And the windshield has actually defrosted. We can see out. That's pretty cool. So there's our low coolant light, but we can see, and that's a good thing. You guys can probably also hear that it has a giant exhaust leak. If you just get on the throttle a little bit, that exhaust leak it's definitely there. This thing's pretty fun though. I can't wait to take it for a proper drive. These cars were fun. It doesn't really make any power, but they were fun. Oh, check engine light just came on. I gave it like half throttle. And we're back at the shop with my new Cobra Mustang. And we were talking about this. Jake and I were having a conversation about how the SN95 is like the worst one there could possibly be. But it's still a Cobra Mustang, and it's still very limited. And honestly, for $3,000, this looks like a pretty solid car. Now, I think it's got a lot of problems. And like we said, it had been sitting forever. But Ryan did change the oil yesterday, he told me that, and it has a new battery in it. So it's got like two things going for it, at least. So let's check this thing out, do a little walk around, see, you know, what we need to fix, what's going on with it, and we're done driving it for the day. After that low coolant light came on, I want to fix the cooling system if there's any problems before we keep driving it. So one of the coolest things about the Cobra is, of course, its front bumper. And you gotta love those fog lights hanging down. They work, they look really good, and then that's the front bumper. And another thing that's interesting is most of these have Cobra badges in the front. And the Mustang badge is actually the correct one. So instead of just having the Cobra there like everybody always did, it's got the right badge there, and it's got the right Cobra badges on the fender as well. I kinda like the Cobra badge in the front, I gotta be honest, but I also like that this one is correct. Now what's not correct is the rest of this front bumper. Why are the headlights and maybe the turn signals glued in? Like, none of that really fits. Oh wow, you can aim the headlight on the fly right there. That's active headlight. It's definitely got some issues with the mounting brackets for the headlights, although this one looks pretty right. And it also obviously has this issue of somebody painted a Cobra on the hood, but they did do a good job, honestly. Ryan and I talked about that. It's got gold in it, it's got silver metallic in it. He said it reflects the light really well and kind of pops in the sun. And I bet it does. It might actually look kind of okay. Coming around here, we got some 17-inch wheels that I do think are the factory ones. We've got Cobra brakes in there. And it's a convertible, like we said. Right here on the certificate, you can see that it's Cobra convertible 815 of 1003. It could use a spacer in the back to bring those wheels out so they're not totally tucked into the back. That was one of Jake's comments about the SN95 over there, that he doesn't like that the wheels are just invisible beyond the body. So if we punch those out, I think that could look pretty cool. It looks like somebody tinted the taillights, And then another thing we noticed is one of these bulbs is burnt out, and this has been replaced with a cheap LED strip inside there, and then like electrical taped in. We're not sure what's going on there, but they didn't even get the LED strip straight, so we're gonna have to take that back out and fix it. I will say that's kind of a cool fix, taking a red LED strip and sliding it in there. If they would have just done a good job of it, it'd be kind of perfect. You wouldn't know that it's not stock because it is behind the Ford lens, and I think that looks really cool. We probably have some kind of exhaust. I don't know what it would be. Oh yeah, those look like some Flowmasters. We can get this thing up on a lift here soon. It also looks like there might be baling wire holding the exhaust up. That's always nice. Other than that, this car actually looks pretty good. Like, it's a nice black. There's some more interesting things about the black we'll talk about here in a minute, but first let's open up the trunk and see if we can find anything cool. Bad hood struts. Who would have guessed? You guys know I can't buy a car with hood struts, so I'll get some of those ordered. Look at that, they're the good brand. And of course it's full of leaves. We're gonna have to clean all this nonsense out. A lot of cleaning to do, but back here we've got a mask, like the inside of a helmet, foam support or something like that. Sunglasses, a completely destroyed spare tire cover. I can't even pull it out. I pulled on it and it's pretty stuck. So we're gonna have to figure out what's up with that. Maybe just get a new cover and put that on there. Like a plastic one would be ideal instead of that old corkboard stuff that degrades and turns into a mess. Ryan also told me the convertible top doesn't open on its own. You can actually just push it backwards and use it like a Miata convertible top, but it should be power. And Jake also says that it's a very simple to fix hydraulic system.
I had an 05,
Uh-huh.
and I've seen in the 60s ones,
Yep.
and it's the exact same. So I assume this is also the exact same, where it's literally just one motor and two hydraulic cylinders and like 3 lines.
Cool. All right, heading inside the car, the first thing that's gonna make everybody freak out, apparently all Cobras had tan interior. I don't know if it's all Cobras, but all black Cobras had tan interior. So somebody decided to fix this and they dyed it, and now some of the dye is worn back off and you can unfortunately kind of see the tan. They went and got black seats, which looks great, except that this seat is all taped up. So that's a bit of an issue. We're gonna have to get this seat basically rebuilt completely. The steering wheel must be nasty or falling apart because it's absolutely covered in even this wrap feels gross. And you know, the next problem is this car has 194,000 miles on a Cobra. What do you think about that, Jake? Is that unheard of?
I've seen Explorers hit 300s.
Well, yeah, but
It's just a lowered Explorer at the end of the day.
it kind of is a lowered Explorer. We were just talking about how you can make every Mustang better by getting all the Explorer parts and putting them in it. Get the Explorer engine and the Explorer diff.
It was like their test bed for what they were going to put in the next Mustang.
Yes. Here, this family car is better than everything else we sell. Anyway, in here you can see the tent has to be removed immediately, so we're going to get that sorted out here shortly when we go through the cosmetics.
Crunchy.
Yeah, very crunchy. You can see some of the black dyes coming off the tan right there. We'll have to figure out how to fix that. This does have the Ford Mach 460 sound system, which is very cool. I'm kind of impressed by how it sounds. We turned the radio on for just a minute and it sounds good. Over here we have the normal issue with the plastic door cup and all of that stuff ripping out because the fasteners underneath always broke, so they put a metal screw in there. Looks horrible, but at least the door panel's not completely falling apart. So I'll give them a little credit. How's the back seat?
I am a small person.
And your head doesn't clear at all.
I do not feel like a small person back here.
He's a giant. Why did they dye the press buttons on the seatbelts? That seems like the world's biggest mistake. I don't know what happened there.
I didn't notice
It's
that.
horrible.
Oh, I did get the seat back far enough to lock.
I found the seatbelt. I couldn't reach it earlier. I was like driving and I was like, well, I don't know where the seatbelt's at. Oh, apparently the seatbelt might have ruined that trim. Well, the trim needs re-dyed. That's like,
Yeah, get some good SEM.
yeah.
Oh gosh, it's wearing off everywhere. They must have
It
just
is.
used spray paint. I bet
Maybe.
they didn't actually use dye.
Yeah, maybe they did just spray paint all this. So the seats need fixed. We've got Cobra pedals. I'm gonna assume those are aftermarket. This thing did have some kind of alarm system on it because there is a siren I saw under the hood. And right here we got this LED that says Clifford, the old school Clifford alarm system. factory CD, very cool. And it's a factory 5-speed, which is, I think, all the Cobras were. Under here, we've got the PowerPoint. I love when Ford started calling that PowerPoint. Like, after Microsoft Office got popular, they started putting PowerPoint.
They're like, yo, this pops off.
This is the best word. We've got the digital clock up there in the dash. White gauges. Oh, you know what? I think the odometer was moving, but the trip wasn't. All the other gauges worked. That's kind of weird. Lights. They ding.
We got him.
We got them. Here in the middle, we got the fog light control, and of course the top, which I'd like to mess with, but I'll do that another day. And here in the center, we have cup holders. Check it out.
See, why couldn't they do that in the Ranger?
Yeah, that is awesome. What's that? Ooh, there's a lot of gross stuff in there. We got mass USB cables. We'll go through this another time.
Oh, it smells.
The manual smells?
Oh.
Gross. Probably because that looks like underwear, dude. Yeah, you can put that right back. Put that right back. All right, I'm gonna come over to the other side. Let's see what else we can find in this car. We didn't really look at it other than like opening the hood and be like, yep, there's an engine.
Can confirm.
What's in the glove box?
Gloves.
Barely opens. Ooh, glass cleaning wipes.
Oh, those look.
Those
also look real.
Those look useful. Insurance, USB charger. We'll throw that away. It's a gross one. Check it out. Guns N' Roses GNR Lies. This is the perfect cassette.
That is.
Reckless Life. Man, it doesn't have the only good Guns N' Roses song on it.
But will the player eat us?
You want to try it?
We should.
Jake just opened up the center, which I didn't even notice. That fits really well.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, what does this panel do?
That has
look,
the ashtray.
And another PowerPoint.
And why are there 5,000 bulbs in there? And they're covered in yellow. Oh yeah, it's got bullets.
Ooh, it's a.
It's real too, huh?
Yeah.
44. All right, do you think these keys fit it?
Can't get through a Cybertruck.
Get the Cybertruck round. It works.
Oh, sick.
Now, what we need to find out is, oh, this has you have to push the button like it's an import to get your keys out. All right. Doesn't work, right?
Need batteries.
Well, that's cool. We didn't expect it to have a factory remote. And apparently, it might work. Oh, and let's try out our Guns N' Roses tape.
Oh, hang on.
What?
Hang on.
Ah, that felony for us. This is just the beginning of one, though. That's just the seed for one felony.
Glued itself to the.
Gross. Don't smell it. Well, here's our Guns N' Roses tape that doesn't have Welcome to the Jungle on it. Let's see what happens when we throw it in. I don't think it works, dude. Error. It's error 2. Guys, I lied. Jake and I got in and immediately dropped the top because it looks cool. Man, I like it with the top back. Unfortunately, the back windows don't move, so we found a new problem. Not to mention, we found another problem. The keys, there's no batteries in it at all. That might be why it doesn't work.
We'll do it.
That'll get you every time. CD player works. Unfortunately, we don't have any non-copyright music. We just have good music, and we were rocking out. That's the Mach 1 system. Other than, old cars, they didn't figure out how to do systems for 20 years. It was like, okay, 2015 or something when people finally figured out how to do audio correctly. But this Mach 1 system, if you put your knee in the door panels and stop the rattles, rocks. It gets so loud. And it plays very, very well. Let's look under the hood and see what we got going on there. Yeah.
Flimsy feeling hood.
It is a flimsy feeling hood. It's fiberglass and it does not feel confidence inspiring at all. Look at it like bouncing. Anyway, this is why everybody, I guess, replaces their hoods with those Cervini fiberglass hoods because it's really no difference. All right, we got the Mustang lettering on the radiator cowl here, and we've got that Cobra intake. So apparently Cobras are actually a little bit special. It's still just a 5-liter, a 302 like all the rest, but not at all like all the rest. So it has a different intake, it has GT40 heads, and not only that, it has a cam, and it has a different firing order. So this is actually a 302 HO. I don't know why it still doesn't really make that much power, but it is the high output version. And like I said, it has a different firing order that's supposed to relieve stress on the block. that they, instead of firing both front cylinders at once, it like fires them diagonally or something like that. It just changes up the firing order a little bit so the fronts aren't hitting at the same time and causing the block to rip apart. Because personally, I've been in the car ripping a block apart on a 5.0. I had a Fox body way before the YouTube days, and it was awesome. And I sold that to Eric, and then we went out for an entire day of just ripping in that car, and it was a blast. It was singing off the limiter all day long, sliding around every corner, just, you know, doing absolute hoonigan things in the old Fox body. And the very last pull of the night, it came up on its limiter, sliding around the corner, and then pow! And when we stopped, the crankshaft had come out of the engine forward 3/4 of an inch and was sideways, and we're talking like timing chain on the ground, the accessory belt broke in half. There was so much carnage that we just loaded it up on a trailer and sold the car because that engine was gone. There was nothing left. So apparently that's really common with these, and they tried to fix that by switching up the firing order on this. So other than that, it looks very stock under the hood. We got that horn for the security system right there. I saw we got the right battery in there already, got the Superstar. The battery cables are looking a little worse for the wear, and that battery cable is loose. That one's a replacement too. We'll probably just replace all these just to clean it all up. Could use a new washer fluid cap, that's looking bad. But it does have headers, and it might, I mean, we saw those Flowmasters probably, and it also may have underdrive pulleys on it. So it's actually got a few little mods to make this car fun and peppy, and it did slide around the corner really well in the rain, so I know that doesn't take any power, but it was fun. Cleveland Engine Plant, Brook Park, Ohio. This Cobra engine system was manufactured with pride. 1-800-COBRA-ES if you have any quality problems with this engine. Huh. Well, it's a Cobra engine. We don't know what these headers are. They're shorties. We are thinking they're BBKs because that's honestly what everybody puts on everything. And that's about it. 302 cubes of screaming fury, we think. We haven't actually verified this, but that's
Screaming fury might be giving it a little bit much.
302 cubic inches of motivation.
302 cubic inches of arthritic annoyance.
It is old. It is old. So, there you have it, guys. My new Cobra Mustang. We need to get it up on the lift and see what's going on with a lot of this car. A lot of it is rough based on the suspension clunks and stuff like that, but it could be a very fun car, and I'm excited to work on this. It's a very affordable car that is still a lot of fun. I've kind of been looking for an SN95 to play with for a while because it's just something you can go out and buy sometimes for $1,000 on Marketplace, and you can have a lot of fun for that $1,000. And this one is a Cobra for $3,000. So I'm saying that's a win. It's gonna take a lot of money and a lot of work to make it nice again, but it's got potential, and that's what we're looking for. That is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop.watchjayrgo.com for cool shirts like the one I'm wearing under this, and please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do, and I will talk to you next time. I had, how have I owned so many Mustangs? But I literally hate them.
Well, we live in Kansas.
Yeah. This one has already, I like this one a little bit. Everyone, I think we've had this conversation a lot, is everyone owned an SN95, and then it kind of softens your heart, and you're like, it's not that bad. But I owned a New Edge, and my New Edge was horrific, dude. It was the worst car. It was supercharged. It made zero power. I had like Nitto 555s on it, and it only spun all day long. I don't understand how it could never find traction. And of course, it would like get hot and start doing all these stupid things because it was a non-intercooled. It was like a Vortec V1 or V2 kit. So it was just Problem City. The convertible top was stupid. It had ghost flames. I think that car is still in Kansas somewhere. But it's like pewter with ghost silver flames in it. And it was terrible and kind of great. You know, I paid $6,000 for that, $6,500 for that car. So honestly, a lot of that car's price was its supercharger. So I wasn't too upset. I got my money back out of it, but you know, this is 10 times the car the New Edge was. Although I like the New Edge a lot more. It looks great. The New Edge looks. They really did just keep getting better and better. And then 05, it was like up. 05, terrible. S550, amazing. Pinnacle. I don't hate the Mustang as much as I think I do, huh? That's what we've learned.
Yeah, I mean the problem with old cars is that they're old cars.
That's right. That's right. We got one more thing to do, guys. One important thing to do. Over here in the corner, you can see I hung up the bead rolled Watch Chair Go sign that my buddy Steven from FHP Design made. So if you guys ever do anything with Cletus and you get like a bead rolled award or something like that, Steven makes all those. They say FHP Design on them. It's like engraved with a ball mill right there. But he made me this awesome bead rolled Watch Chair Go. But I also have the first thing he ever did, which is this bead rolled Cobra. And it looks awesome. So now that I have a Cobra, we need to clean this up and hang it up. I tried to keep this clean, but it was in my garage and now it's got spider webs on it. So let's wipe it down. Unfortunately, it got like rubbed right there. So it needs like brought back down with some sandpaper or something like that so we can get that ugly stuff out. But I think we can fix it, make it beautiful again. And let's get this thing hung up on a wall because we've got a Cobra. So now I think we can have the Cobra sign somewhere. We went ahead and made a clamp for hanging our picture. Yes, that's a hose clamp with 2 holes drilled in it. It's time to hang this thing up, which is the last thing we have to do for our Cobra Mustang. Yeah, there we go. I mean, my clamp's perfectly centered, but apparently my hanging seals aren't. That looks pretty good. If only it had something, if only there was a wall. Make it beautiful again, and let's get this thing up. And let's get this thing hung up. And let's get this thing hung up. And let's get this thing hung up. I can't. Hung up.